So that is Marley Woods, and that, there you go. Talked about a cost plan from here to my house once about Marley Woods, but new traditions have started, new cultures have started in Marley Woods. A client that I did a survey for and then helped with the bank loan has now moved in there. So new customs, new routines, new patterns, and for that client and for the rest of our neighbours. I can remember being a kid and I used to take the bus into town, and you could predict who was going to be at the bus at what time. You could predict who was going to be late. Got anxious when you didn't see somebody for a while, all unspoken, nearly all unconscious. And then you'd see somebody after a while and they'd been away on holidays and they came back. And we're all interconnected in communities and in subgroups. And we all have patterns and behaviours that become predictable. Virtually every night I do the same walk. I go to Centra, then I get my berries, and I go home and I have yogurt and yogurt and berries. And it's unbelievable, even looking at my receipts, and you can see nearly the shop on the same level, same volume, same price, and I'm perfectly content with it. The predictability, and we all need variety as well, so I walk in different locations and do different things, and the same thing happens in projects. After a while you can begin to see projects and patterns, and you can begin to see behavioural patterns. You can see who's on time, who's late, who's turning up for meetings, who's going to handle it in such a way, who's not going to handle it in such a way, who's going to have interruptions, who's going to be a disruptor, who's going to add to the group. Is the overall group going to storm? Is it going to form? Is it going to norm? Is it going to have a group thought or psychologically, or is it going to be an analytical group thought? But the patterns become embedded. Last night I was walking by and I always stopped for a couple of minutes to see the soccer, and there was one guy and he was one-on-one with the goals last night, and 9 out of 10 times the guy scored, and I was shocked when he didn't. I don't know, I would have bet my house on the guy. He's really talented, very nippy, great double feet, had the goalie one-on-one, and the goalie saved. Literally shocked. And it's a shock because it wasn't habitual, it wasn't neurological. My expectations were neurological, not logical. These one-on-ones 50-50, but in my mind it was 100. And that's how we get into group thought, and it gets entrenched neurologically, and our signals become, our prefrontal cortex gets used to patterns, gets used to behaviour, gets embedded, and neurologically the canals are deepened, and then it becomes predictable behaviour. And the same is true for cultures of jobs. So people aren't aware of values, they're not aware of group dynamics, not aware of their own personal dispositions, their own linguistics, their own tonality, their own pace, their own interactions, their own purpose. And it's sometimes you actually have to put your own purpose before the actual group and the project. So sometimes a homeowner may need to actually bring other people in and take them along the journey, and sometimes the contractor as well. So and we're blind to our bias, we all are. I certainly know that I am, and I don't know what I know. I don't know if I know that much, but I do know that God, I was looking at my library the other day and there was loads of books, and I was thinking, for a guy who's read a lot, pal, you sure don't act it out. But there is patterns that become hardwired, and we can all become agents of change, and we can all disrupt those patterns by new patterns, or we can grain them further depending upon the actual disposition of the group itself. So you can nearly predict patterns and reactions, and you can nearly predict the extent of them, the depth of them, the intent of them, the unconsciousness of them after you form a group. And often in those group dynamics, what you'll find is some of the design team may actually have prior relationships. So you're bringing the subculture that should already be successful into a group dynamic. So it's something to be aware of, and the onus is on everybody to have a corrective path in a project, because if somebody goes off on tangents, it's no good for anybody, and we're all jointly responsible for maintaining a healthy, respectful culture to everybody, for everybody's success. As one quantity surveyor said to me, he said, for the betterment of the project. And I wouldn't mind, it was huge wisdom from a guy who can be very direct, but there was a lot of compassion in what he was saying. Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to reach out at any stage, please do. Okay, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And I'll let you know if I walk by and see that guy score the goal again. I was utterly shocked.